who pulled up for a catch-up. It's really here from 947 Afternoons. And if you're here, it means you've got taste. Go ahead, enjoy the moment you missed. But don't ghost me. Weekdays, 12 to 3 p.m. on 947. I'm loud and way more fun in real time. And yeah, there's more audio magic waiting for you right here on Prime Media Plus. Wake up with a bang.
Hey, wake up!
Anele and The Club
On 947.
So, Midrand has been going through the most as our other areas in Johannesburg. We'll get to that, but I think the Midrand one is just pressing because they constantly have water issues. On the 28th of Jan, this was a Wednesday, a notice came out saying that there was a power failure at Randburg Water's Zuikerbosch water treatment plant on the 27th of Jan, and this would be affecting water supply. This after pumping was already reduced due to emergency valve replacement work at Palmiet.
Correct. Then on Thursday, the 29th of Jan, notice came through saying that the Midrand systems had a gradual improvement with restoration in progress.
Then on Sunday, the 1st of Feb, a notice stated that there was another power failure, this time at the Palmiet Pump Station on the 31st of Jan, and the power was restored, but it was still impacting the system. So this is the information that residents are getting, all
From
the
Joburg
time.
Water, yeah?
Systems process, everything, right?
Yesterday, then, the notice said that there was a leak at the Klipfontein Reservoir, which was detected, and repairs should be completed by midday yesterday.
Last night, the notice said the reservoir levels are slowly increasing but remain critically low. Now, all of this, right, it's lovely corporate communications. Like you're telling people what's happening, but there's no water. Some people have not had water since last week, Wednesday. We are about to see another Wednesday, and there's people who don't have water.
Yeah, it's extremely frustrating, and I think when it comes to these kinds of services, water and electricity specifically, these are things that you need to live, right? And you can do nothing about it.
There are schools in the Midrand area that have told kids not to come to school.
Because they can't
Because
use ablutions,
there's
no water.
Yeah, guys, it's so bad. It is so bad. Even the school, Abandwana, which they shouldn't come to school because there's no water. I'm on my way to work right now. I'm going to use the gym facilities at work to shower.
Yeah, the water issue is a problem. I stay in Clayville, Tembisa. Yeah, we've had issues with water for like forever, but this time was worse. People are fighting for water.
It's Christiana here from Kailami. We have had no water since last week, Wednesday, and we keep on getting the technical jargon of they've had a power failure, they've had a pump issue, they've had a leakage. We've been getting updates where just the time and the dates have been changed. Councillors have not been forthcoming.
Let's go straight to the top. Let's go to Joburg Water. We're chatting to the manager of Electro-Mechanical at Joburg Water, Gugulethu Quma. Good morning. Welcome to Anele and The Club.
Good morning, Anele and The Club, and good morning, Joburg.
It's not a good morning for some people. Their frustrations are high. Tensions are also at an all-time high. When are the people of Midrand going to have water again, Gugulethu?
It's a real difficult one. Water is an emotional topic, and we do appreciate that water is life. And right now, we are looking at Midrand heavily impacted, rightfully so, as you were explaining, from the 21st of January until the 31st. We are still trying to restore. As of this morning, we're starting to have gradual improvement. We started to open water at our Midrand Reservoir, and we're looking at deep flood. But most of the systems within Midrand are still struggling, battling to receive water because of generally there's high demand and draw off because we are stabilizing the systems now. To answer,
yes,
okay.
Sorry, Google, to continue.
To answer directly, some customers already starting to receive water this morning. They'll gradually have water, and the restoration period will be different. It will take us approximately perhaps 3 days to stabilize the entire system, but it doesn't mean customers will get water 3 days from today. It just means some customers will receive water today, tomorrow, some will still have poor pressure as we are stabilizing the system. But we are projecting that the next 3 days will give us comfortable levels to supply Midrand.
I've got to ask, sir, and I think a lot of people struggle with this. The water supply, you can think about it like it's little buckets that are getting filled up along the way, correct? So all these reservoirs are sort of connected. They come from a pump station to one reservoir to another reservoir, and then they get distributed throughout the region. That's how I understand it. Am I right?
That is correct, yes.
Right now, and I think a lot of people are asking the following questions. Why are there no backup systems, right? So if a pump goes down at one, now all of a sudden the pump is down, the water's not getting pumped, and then it knocks on. So the question is, are there backup systems? Why are they not working? And secondly, I think Midrand is impacted with this specific issue so often, right? I mean, we've spoken about it on this show so many times. Is there not a need for more reservoirs in Midrand?
Definitely, Midrand has been growing. If you're looking at the horizon of the next 10 years, we're still going to see developments within Midrand. But if you're looking at the past 30 years, Midrand has substantially grown. So that tells you that as far as the infrastructure is concerned, we should also be. And we are building, I believe there is a scheduled infrastructure that is prepared for that region, couple of reservoirs, 3, and there are those ones that are already in construction. If you're going to the Iran side, we are already adding a tower there, and we have some reservoirs that are scheduled to be constructed in the next 5 to 10 years, which is a medium to longer term. Yes, there is redundancy on the system, but if you look at the value chain of water, starting from our bulk supply, whenever I say bulk supply, I'm actually referring to Rand Water. Rand Water supplies 100% Johannesburg water systems. So yes, we do have backup, we do have redundancy, but the sheer size of what we're talking about as far as the power trips, it's difficult to bring those systems back. Yes, there is redundancy, but starting up takes time. You can't ramp those systems up into full speed. Now that means our reservoirs should, by standard, give us a retention of 24 hours. And most of them are not operating within those premises. They're operating way below that. That means now if there is a small impact of power trip, even if it's a 5-hour or 10-hour power trip, our reservoirs will gradually decrease and most probably go to empty. And when we start up, it's a very difficult situation. Restoration is quite difficult in the water systems because you need pressure and volumes.
Okay, so because, and you said it yourself, that there's just a lot of development in the Midrand area, right? If we look at Midrand 10 years ago, there must be 2 million people now who live there, more than it was. So surely then the people who are building the properties there, the property companies and, the property giants, the government is not the ones building these properties. It's private entities. Why are they not being forced to build the reservoirs as well? Because all they're doing now is they're building 1,000 townhouses there and then putting more pressure on a water system that is already failing.
There's definitely a control as far as development control, but again we need to look at another perspective. That's the economic growth of Midrand, and you need Midrand to grow because you need Joburg to grow. So it has to be quite a balancing exercise. The reservoirs in Midrand, in the previous horizon that we were talking about, they were actually adequate.
But they're not now.
Looking at the current. Yes, right now.
So why are the property companies that are building? We need Joburg to grow, get it. We need Midrand to grow, get it. But we're saying the people who are building there and they are getting awarded, because obviously they get the land from council or they buy it from someone and then they have to go in and approve their plans. The government is not scot-free up until they see buildings being erected and 1,000 people there. You are aware of the plans. Why are they not being also asked that if you're going to build 2,000 units here, you have to put something towards the reservoir in this 5 to 10 year plan that you just told us about?
I think Anele's question is, can private entities like these people who are building these massive complexes, can they build their own water towers?
Definitely. They do build the bulk infrastructure. They will lay out the roads and they will lay out the pipelines that are connecting, and we will come with the services that we will also. And to some extent, they also assist to build the infrastructure like your reservoirs and towers. If you're looking even on the other side, you go towards Stainsea, there's a lot of bulk infrastructure that is built through that development. Even if you go towards development that connects to Midrand, that infrastructure is built by the private sector and is handed over to the city through those agreements of development and the introducing the bulk infrastructure. So definitely there is control. Some of the development, Anele and the club, they have been delayed to allow that the infrastructure that you are talking about being built. Private can also put some investment on the bulk infrastructure, but some prefer to delay the construction until the infrastructure is done by the city.
And I ask this because right at the bottom, out of all of this babble that is happening between all of us, there are kids who cannot go to school.
Yeah.
That is a huge issue, Mr. Quma. Really, it is a massive issue. And the knock-on effect is, you must remember, some parents don't have nannies to look after the kids, but these parents have to go to work, right?
Now they've got to take leave, stay
Now they've
home.
got to take leave, stay at home. There's an entire system that's been thrown into disarray here purely because there is no water in Midrand and other areas in Johannesburg, Soweto, Innerdale. So many other areas are affected. I get what you're saying about Midrand, but the Berea area, South Hills, Ayrton, Brixton, Alexander Park, Central Systems, like there are just many places in Johannesburg that don't have water. What is the explanation around that?
Thank you for that question, Anele. As it now bring you back to that emotional topic that I was talking about, and we sincerely apologize because we know it affects the economy, it affects the school, it affects the hospital, the businesses, in particular the smaller businesses who cannot have the alternate capacity to continue running the businesses. We do understand that, but water now has become the one of the difficult projects to manage, and we're doing the best. And Anele, you did ask, do we have a backlog? If you look at Johannesburg Water, the backlog approaching, last time we checked it was 24 billion, but it went up throughout the financial years. We're looking now closer to 30 billion rand, let's say 27 ballpark figure. That tells you that if that infrastructure was already on the ground, we will be talking about additional capacity, upgraded systems and all that. But that's a function of another topic that we can talk. And even though we're looking at Midrand, we also look at the entire city that is affected. We put alternate water like stationary tankers at school, at police station, that to provide and alleviate the situation so that the police station continue to operate, so that a hospital can be able to do some of the services, perhaps not all of them, but some of the urgent services. But we cannot be able to replace reticulated system or reticulated water through your tap by a JoJo tank or by a water truck that is roving around the street. And that's the unfortunate part about water.
Mr. Quma, I want to ask, you said the backlog is 27 billion, right? Roughly.
Correct.
Give or take. How much is Joburg Water spending in the next 12 months?
The current financial year projection is between around 1.6 billion, but Johannesburg Water need roughly at least a minimum of 3 billion rand per year to deal with the capital investment. Capital investment, you understand, that will be your upgrades, that will be your new expansions and all that.
But if you're saying if you're saying 27 billion is the backlog, and you're saying we're spending $1 billion this year, and we should be spending 3. This just what I'm asking is
27 years.
Well, I mean, if we're lucky, because it builds every year. So, are we ever going to get to a point where it's stable and we're ahead?
There are interventions in place through the intergovernmental and the public-private partnership that is already established over the next 10 years, projecting that if we do get a 3 billion rand per annum, right this year, if we say 1.6 and we gradually increase that so that we also build the capacity to be able to spend that. So that means over the next 10 years, there is a strategy that is there.
To catch up.
There are strategic pillars that we have, inviting private now to say this can't be done by government alone. There must be a partnership from local, national, private sector and national treasury playing a vital role to assist and ensuring that all the frameworks are in place to allow that public-private partnership.
And for now, when will Midrand have water?
From today, Midrand will have water, but not all of Midrand. By tomorrow, most Midrand will have water. On the third day, we were looking at stabilizing Midrand.
It'll be full. All right.
cool.
We'll catch up with you if there's a problem.
Thank you
so much, sir.
Gugulethu Quma, manager, Electro-Mechanical at Joburg Water. A call came through whilst we were speaking to Gugulethu Quma from Joburg Water, saying complexes pay a civil contribution to government upon building for them to build infrastructure. Where is that money going? So you see what my question was? Like, if you're going to build complexes and all these, because you're not building complexes for charity, it's for financial gain, right? It's for profit. So you can't just come and build and then take all the money and then leave without building infrastructure. Apparently, it is in there.
No, it's part of the deal.
It is part of the deal. Where is that money going?
Yeah, well, I mean, that's what he's saying. The backlog and what needs to be reinvested is crazy.
Because that 27 billion he was talking about, if we now look at all the developments that have happened in Midrand over the last 10 years, you will find that the money is there. The money was given. But where is it going?
Where has it gone?
Where has it gone? Why has it not found its way to the infrastructure that would then prevent issues like this? Kids not going to school because there's no water.
Say goodbye now. Back to making your morning.
Anele and The Club.
I love this show. On 947.